Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. This is an introduction video which will be featured in every episode after this one. But here we go. So, this podcast is Al Talks. My name is Alex George. I am a stand up comedian, and this podcast I created nearly 2 years ago to just basically chronicle my journey into starting stand up. So, but there's other episodes that are nothing to do with stand up. It's just interest that I have. So there'll be it's mainly based on comedy, but it is a general podcast as well. So, um, if you want to support me, I have merchandise. This lovely podcast sticker here, Al Talks. You can buy that. If you would like to buy one, you can go into my social media. Links are all down below in the description on my link tree as well. You have access to everything. I have an Instagram page for the podcast. I have an Instagram page which is my personal one, but I use that for comedy. So you can check me out there, follow me there, and that is all. Episodes usually come out on Tuesday, but sometimes they might come out at other days during the week. And then on Thursdays, if I am around anywhere doing comedy gigs, I record comedy vlogs. So you can listen to those. They usually come out on Thursdays. And that's that. So yeah, all the links down below, link tree. I have buy me a coffee now if you want to support me as well. Links for that down below as well in the description. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And now on to the episode. Hello, another week, another podcast. Um, I should stop saying a lot, but this is how I think sometimes. So, uh, let's just sit in silence for 5 minutes. No, that'd be funny for nobody. I mentioned this briefly in the last episode that this episode I'm going to talk about because recently and over the Christmas period, again, I was talking to like basically a lot of my friends who look at the podcast and stuff, and even when I'd show me the funny, my other comedian friends who have podcasts, they were saying, "Oh, you're very dedicated putting this out every single week." And like I said before, it does take a bit of time between because I always make the joke that I'll talk to management about it. These headphones are on really loud. Anyway, yeah, a bit better because I don't want to go deaf. And what I was saying to them, yeah, it's about 2 3 hours a week, and because I don't do overly extensive editing or whatever else, but a bit of time out of my week per week, but the weeks for when I was uploading late, sometimes it's due to work and being busy, and other times is because it comes to a point in the week like, oh, I need to record the episode. And sometimes some weeks it was like, oh God, no, here we go again, kind of sort of thing. Because it is, it's the passion of love at this stage. Like I said, I don't get paid for this, even though I have merch, which recently enough some people have bought, so it's great for the support. But yeah, a lot of people I realized that I didn't think were listening to the podcast came up to me recently as well, and were saying, "Oh, it's I listened to your podcast. It's really good." And they're asking about how comedy is doing. Especially a very good friend of mine recently was saying that to me as well. Anyway, saying a lot of people saying it takes balls to get up on stage and do it, and it kind of does because you get nervous a lot. Even people who are seasoned comedians that I know would say, they would because some of them have been on tours and stuff, and then it's like, I still get nervous, and I was like, what? This is very strange. Just realized my camera's a little. There we go. It's the kind of optimal angle I want. We're saying, that it's nerve wracking, whatever else, but it is, and also it's sometimes nerve-wracking to do the podcast as well. Recently, I was listening to an episode of a podcast that I know the people who do it, and they had a friend of mine on who's a comedian, and your man was talking about kind of the same similar thing, that it is, you have to find time and dedication to do this, especially if you're doing it with someone else. Because Madeline used to do, she had like, when she lived in Paris, she had an 8 episode podcast, and like she was saying, but it was difficult to schedule and write with stuff. So you kind of have both people. If you're doing more than one person, have to be both dedicated to it, and the dedication has to be there week by week if it's a weekly podcast. Because last year people were asking me, they were thinking about starting a podcast, and I said, look, I think I I I think I started the one a week episode, like basically an episode a week, because I wanted to get into the discipline. The original thought was one a month, then one every 2 weeks, and then one every week. For people who are thinking about getting out, that's what I would suggest, is one per month or even every 2 months. Or what you can do is you can bulk record a lot of episodes, and then give yourself a bit of time, because if it's going to be a scheduling issue, because sometimes it's podcasts supposed to go on Tuesday, sometimes they don't, come out on Sunday or whatever day I basically feel like it. Because like I said before, I don't have management. There's no one, no obligations other than what I said before, which is I try to do it once a week, and this is what, episode 110, and I have not missed a week. So once a week for the last 110 weeks is, it is, I suppose, big dedication. And yeah, I don't know, kind of, again, lost for words. Maybe I should write scripts for these things, but I like it having no scripts. I think it makes it interesting, because then you get, I don't know, authentic real ideas, but also with a script, because in your head, I know this is like improv podcast on the spot, and things that come out in my thoughts go into it. Very deep there. Oh, the excavator is gone today, but all the excavator did was dig up a load of dirt from a garden. So, okay, I think, yeah, that's about it. For basically, this episode is kind of just to recall back on, that the work that goes into this podcast is getting noticed, and a lot of people enjoy it. And over the Christmas period, one of my friends like, "Oh, congratulations!" Because at this stage, this is a couple of weeks back. He's like, "Oh, congrats on the 100 episodes," and because that was 10 weeks ago at this stage, which is quite a long time ago. It is nearly 3 months ago. As I mentioned in the previous episode, it was my birthday last week, and my family got me a really cool present, because Motley Crue and Def Leppard are coming to Ireland in, I think, May, and I didn't manage to get tickets. They all sold out fairly quickly, and then I was thinking that there'd still be tickets available later on, and they sold out too, so I was kind of disappointed. And then I got a ticket for my birthday, so I will be seeing them this year for the first time ever, along with Iron Maiden. And then I've got COVID rescheduled tickets for I Prevail in March. That's going to be very fun during my run of week of gigs. Actually, the second time I'll be in Cork will be on Wednesday, and that Saturday is when the gig is, so the day after St. Patrick's Day. So they're probably going to be fairly rowdy and wild and entertaining and crazy. So there is that. Other than that, I think that was going to wrap it up for today's episode.
don't think I have anything else to add other than kind of this is, I suppose, kind of a supporters appreciation episode as well, in a way, about looking at getting feedback from people, like I was saying in the episode, and people really enjoying the episodes and the work that goes into it, which sometimes is a lot, sometimes isn't, depending on me, really. Well, it all depends on me because, like I said, no one else is working behind the scenes. It's just me, myself, and I. And I've replaced ums with and. It's become my new favorite word. But I think that's about it. Before I leave, actually, I was reading, because in this book, this is where I write notes for the episodes, as you can see, and other stuff. And I write in things I need to buy, and it's kind of like a journal, sort of, nearly, and other various things. I don't know. It's not. It is a journal, but not really. So I was listening to a reel recently on Instagram, and I was looking at, what was I going to say? Yeah, looking at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson said this, and it's a quote. I think it's pretty cool. Everybody that you fight is not your enemy, and everybody that helps you is not your friend. And that is where I'm going to leave today's episode. A bit of insightful mindfulness knowledge for you all out there. I thought it was a pretty good quote. I think it's become one of my favorite quotes, other than Machiavelli's one, which was actually used in I think, what's the movie called, Bronx Tale, in which it said, Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved. Machiavelli was a prince who wrote a book in like the middle centuries for kings and how to act as a king and stuff like that. And he pretty much wrote some gangster shit in there. And that was one of the quotes. But like I said, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode, as per usual. And as this episode was about the people who support me and are fans and listeners of the podcast week per week, I really appreciate all of that. And as per usual, thanks for the support. In the introduction, you get links to all the things. Linktree, buy me a coffee, the podcast sticker if you wanted, message me, like explained in the front part of the video. But that is going to be all, and thank you for listening, and goodbye. Bye bye.